Hello everyone, today I'll show my top 10 Premodern Magic the Gathering creatures, the cards you expect to show up at a Premodern tournament. Big doesn't always mean good, some creatures are very archetype specific, it's hard to agree on criterias. It can't be usage or win rate because you can check that by yourself, so I'll just follow my guts and I will spit out my fears, simple as that, which are the creatures I wouldn't want to see on the other side of the battlefield. To me, that is the ultimate test, the eye test. These will be creatures that you're very likely to see at the high tables and in the top 8 of a pre-modern tournament. So, before the top creatures, let's take a look at some of the creatures that didn't make it into my honorable mentions, nostalgic cards that are part of the metagame and you will most definitely see at a big tournament. Then, the honorable mentions. I would start with Color of the Claw. I think this is underrated because there are survival of the fittest decks that don't play this. Maybe you don't want to use it in a combo-oriented metagame, but I think this is a card I would always have with me. Next, Masticore. Having to discard a card is a huge drawback, and Premodern is very hostile for midrange decks. You don't see too many 4-drops. Masticore is one of those cards you can play in 2 copies, find it with a tutor, and it's a nightmare for certain decks. All Lightning, you never want to leave this unblocked and unchecked. This hurts. It's unique and it embodies the soul of Mono Red Sly. I don't think it's necessarily the best card in the deck, but it's one of the few cards that give enough value. That's the point. To me it reads as 3 mana 6 damage, so 1 card you get 3 copies of Shock. At this point I have to include another red card, Goblin Pile Driver. Goblin decks swarm the battlefield and this is usually the card that you cannot ignore. Then I'm going with my favorite Premodern creature. I might be biased, but I don't think you can go that wrong with Visara the Dreadful. This is the evolution of Royal Assassin. This thing destroys everything, it's big and evasive. Perhaps it lacks a home, the right deck, the right context in this metagame. So let's start with the top 15, and my number 15 is Meddling Mage. This creature depends on the metagame, but even without factoring that, it's naturally good against the Stifle Knot and Swords to Plowshares in general. Mage is going to protect you from combos and that's where it really shines, so this is why I like it as a sideboard card, just like in Blue-White Replenish. This is the only non-proactive creature in my top 20. Number 14, I'll go with Achroma. This might be Multani as well. Slot 14 is dedicated to a creature played by a reanimator deck that I cannot deal with. Imagine Phage, something among those lines. Number 13, Squee. This is great with Survival of the Fittest and Zombie Infestation. You're not afraid of the 1/1 creature obviously, but I am somewhat envious of the card advantage it generates, so I had to put it here. Number 12, I have Priest of Titania here. This is a creature that you can destroy just by blowing on the table, but if you can't, it can do bad things. This is the elf you need to stop at any cost. At number 11, Phantom Nishoba. This thing is huge. You don't want to play 7 mana, so you're looking for a way to cheat it into play, whether it's Reanimate, Show and Tell, or Oath of Druids. Lifelink is very rare in Premodern, and this creature has it. Or at least, some sort of. And Trample. Phantom Nishoba can single-handedly screw aggressive decks. You can't outrace this thing, so it's a very important card. And I don't want to play against this. So here we have the top 10, and number 10 is Goblin Lackey. This is the card that makes the deck, Goblins. If you don't stop this, you're going to fight an uphill battle. There's not a lot to say. Number 9, I have Green Lavamancer. This is the best one drop for mono red Sly. Perhaps this is not the card most people are afraid of, but come to think of it, it pulls a lot of weight for the Sly. There are games where players lose to mono red Sly, then complain about given top decks. Turns out they did not actually lose to top decks, they just lost to Green Lavamancer because it sticked around for too long. Number 8, a creature that actually is not a creature card. Give me Call of the Herd. This is the silent killer, and it really shines when you're forced to mulligan. This gives you so much gas. At the end of the day, it's just one vanilla 3/3, and then another one, 7 mana overall. At first glance, nothing to write home about, but the consistency of this card is absurd. Number 7, we have the Ranged Hermit. 1-man army, 5 mana, 5 creatures. This is great with Survival of the Fittest and Recurring Nightmare, or in Elves with Jazz Cradle. Number 6, Psychotog. This is another card that doesn't really look overpowered at first glance. Turns out it's great on both offense and defense. And this is what makes it unique. You're using this for stabilizing the board, and then all of a sudden it swings for lethal. Entering the top 5, we are talking about the worst nightmares. At number 5, Argothian Enchantress. I'm always afraid of shrouded creatures and card advantage. This one has both, and it comes down on turn 2. At number 4, Phyrexian Devourer. Finally a combo card. The amount of Just Blessing being played speaks for itself. This thing doesn't fight, it ends the fight. On the podium, number 3 is a creature I have in my black-white deck, Exalted Angel. Just like with Phantom Nishova, lifelink is a rare commodity in Premodern. Yeah, these go on the stack, so technically it's worse than lifelink, but still. In the right matchup, you can play this for 3 and flip it whenever you please. After duress, that's quite safe. So this is the best creature at the top of the curve for midrange decks, at least white midrange decks. It stabilizes the board, it's evasive. This is Baneslayer Angel before Baneslayer Angel and the successor to Serra Angel. Exalted Angel shines of its own light, but the first 2 places are taken by creatures that shine thanks to context. Number 2, so the runner-up, is Terravor. This is enormous. Terravor is the best 3-drop on curve in the format. This happens in Terrageddon decks thanks to Wasteland, Mox Diamond, Fetch Lands, and Armageddon. Oath of Druids usually makes it immediately bigger than any other creature on the battlefield, including 8 drops or even Phyrexian Dreadnought. So not even Reanimator decks can keep up unless we are talking about Visara. The best creature in Premodern, obviously, is Phyrexian Dreadnought. Shrimp is well known in Eternal formats, 1 mana, 12 power, trample. You make up for the drawback, you enjoy the reward. And the amount of protection and card draw this deck has makes all the difference. So these are the creatures that I have under the radar right now. Feel free to share your favorite creatures or simply your threat list. Thanks for watching and see you the next time.